All right, I am back tonight and I'm ready to give you my next weekly soccer rant. This one is all about grassroots soccer in terms of the numbers that the age groups play at. So, for example, U12, 9v9, younger than that, 7v7, things like that. So make sure you stay tuned. I think you're going to love this one. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my perception on it. So check this out. Follow this page and enjoy. So let me kick the story off like this, right? I've, over the last 2 years, more than that really, but just giving you a general idea, I've watched many games from different age groups, say from U9 all the way up to U18 adults, obviously pro, and especially coming back from the U.S. men's national team game. And in the grassroots, one of the things I'm really noticing about teams is that too many of the kids, one, individually aren't good enough. Two, game IQ-wise are not good enough. And three, this leads to a bunch-up style of soccer. So, I'm watching some games 2 weeks ago, really, and one stood out to me, where 10 kids. So you're talking really 8, 9-year-old kids playing 7v7. And I don't understand that. It's too many kids because at that age group, what do all the kids want to do? Dribble. They want to have the ball for themselves. So, 10 kids. So you're talking really 8, 9-year-old kids playing 7v7. And I don't understand that. It's too many kids because at that age group, what do all the kids want to do? Dribble. They want to have the ball for themselves. So, and this is part of the mandate that I was talking about before with U.S. Soccer. And if it's a perfect world, right now we have, U9, U10, 7v7. U11, U12, 9v9. U13 and older go into 11v11. So, I don't think that's in the best interest of the kids because they're not learning soccer that much. They can't. If the kids mentally aren't capable of it, and obviously skill set wise aren't capable of it, it doesn't matter. It's here in a second. You're going to see what I talk about in terms of the numbers and how I would adjust it. Stay tuned. Here in a second, you're going to see what I talk about in terms of the numbers and how I would adjust it. Stay tuned. So if I was in charge, and I should be, right? But if I was in charge, this is how I would try and structure it, and this is just me thinking about it last week, and I would do this. U9, I would go 5v5. Keeper, 4 field players, futsal style, right? U10, you could, I don't know if I would, but just to make everybody happier, add one more player, 6v6, U10. Okay, I would really stay U5, but for the... And then U14, 11v11. So you heard that first from me, right? I just gave you the age groups. 5v5, 6v6, right? 6v6. Then we go into 8v8, 8v8. And then U14, 11v11. So you heard that first from me, right? I just gave you the age groups. 5v5, 6v6, right? 6v6. Then we go into 8v8, 8v8, 11v11. That's what I would do. And on the premise that the kids are going to get more soccer experience. Because, again, if you look at the 7v7 format that we have right now, it's too tough on the kids. Like, I'm watching now, they have this build-out line, and the offside rule is never structured right. The build-out rule is so flexible in terms of, is it in play when the keeper throws it or when the player takes a touch? Nobody knows the rule. And just make the game simple, like in France. And again, I use France a lot. We don't have to use France for this instance, or moving forward, I'm just giving you a scenario. They do not allow their keepers to throw or punt the ball over midfield. I don't think we need a build-out line. Just keeper can't punt it over midfield. On the kids, like I'm watching this and they're lost. One, because they don't want to share the ball. Two, there's too many players on the field, so it's just a jump. I mean, think about it. It's 7v7. There are 6 field players. It's 12 field players in a 5x5 space. On the kids, like I'm watching this and they're lost. One, because they don't want to share the ball. Two, there's too many players on the field, so it's just a jump. I mean, think about it. It's 7v7. There are 6 field players. It's 12 field players in a 5x5 space, bunched up like a bunch of bumblebees. That's the reality. That doesn't help any kid. That doesn't help them develop. They're not getting better from that. Where's the benefit for them in that scenario? The other thing too, and I've mentioned this a while ago, but when you have so many numbers like that, kids can hide. They can learn, you can literally teach a kid how to hide in the game because there's, like in 9v9, there's 6 other players. So they can literally just stand there and not exist, so to speak, in the game. But we don't want to teach kids that. We don't want to teach them that they can hide in a game. We want to teach them to be involved. Well, how do you do that? You reduce the numbers on the field. So by playing 5v5, you add a goalkeeper, like I said, futsal style. It's 4 field players. They have to play, right? They can't sit there and hide. If they hide, their team's in trouble every time. But that gives them more touches on the ball, more chances to be involved in the game, more chances to make decisions, right? Because again, you can sit there and hide and just watch the play happen versus, okay, I have to move here, I have to do this, and get them to start thinking about the game, right? I mean, I really think it's simple, and I think we've overcomplicated the grassroots system too much, when it just needs to be simple. Let the kids go out and enjoy the game, but not play 7v7 or 9v9 at the ages that they're at. Kids barely know how to spread out on a field at playing 9v9, except unless you get really good teams. And there's, again, super teams like that, few and far between. There's not many of them. So, you know, it is funny. I literally just read an article. This gave me the inspiration to do this now versus waiting on it. I just read an article, and it came from the director of coach education in Belgium. And he basically said in 2000, when they didn't make it out of the group stage, the European Championships, they had like a crisis meeting. And they basically broke down their age groups. And that was one of the first things they did anyways. And they said, too many numbers. Too many numbers. You know what's funny? The first thing they started with younger kids at U5 actually. They said 1v1 at U5. They said before, at U6, they used to have 5v5. And they said, doesn't work for our kids, we need to make a change. I'm saying we need to make a change for the benefit of the kids. We need to go smaller numbers to give them more, obviously, touches on the ball, more chances to make decisions, more chances to be involved, right? And people always say, oh, you know, kids, they want to play the game, right? There's kids that still quit playing. Kids are dropping out of soccer, even though when they're just playing the game, because they're not involved in the game. You know, they're not having fun anymore. They're getting scored on too much. They're losing too much. They're not getting the ball. Like, there's kids that, when I do, like, training for groups or whatever, in teams, there's kids that get off the field because they're not having fun anymore. And all we're doing is scrimmaging. Because they're not getting the ball. They're not scoring. They're not involved in the game. And it's like, when are we going to make it about the kids again? Okay, so we make it 4v4. Kids are going to have a much better chance of getting the ball playing, when I say 4v4 on the field, of that than when there's 6 other players on the field. Right? I mean, we'll have less kids dropping out because kids are going to be involved. If you're in a game and you're not getting the ball, like I think about when I play. When I play 11v11, or when I did, I don't really do it anymore, but I hated defending. I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to defend. I want the ball. Give me the ball. Right? Nobody wants to, I mean, let me rephrase it. Very few people want to be all out and defend. Not me. I want the ball. Right? And look at me. I'm not young, right? I mean, I'm an older guy. I won't tell you my age, though. But that's another point. Here, the thing is this. Everybody wants the ball, except like 1% of the population. So why are we going to put it in the premise where kids aren't getting the ball? It just, the mind-blowingness of this is huge. Make the numbers smaller. You'll have less kids dropping out because they have to be involved in the game. Right? I mean, we're doing this huge push now of kids always have to play. Kids still drop out. I run training sessions. Kids stop playing and walk off the field because they're no longer having fun. We are just scrimmaging. I'm not even coaching in terms of like, hey, these are the coaching points. I'll set up free play games and kids will just drop out. They're not having fun. They're not getting the ball. They're not involved in the game. I mean, I hope this clicks with somebody and they can be like, Kyle, you are 100% right. We need this because I'm tired of bunched up ball. I'm tired of kids dropping out. Let's get them involved in the game. Premise of the story, get kids involved in the game. Make smaller numbers. Please, 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 please. You know what? Maybe I need to run for like U.S. soccer president. All right, the last thing I got to give you outside of me being the next U.S. soccer president, right? Vote for me. I'm counting on your vote. Just kidding. Well, I mean, I am. But let's put it this way, is that I don't know about you, but I've seen so many instances of kids being stuck in, say, a 1v1 situation with no way out, and they will either lose the ball by losing possession or literally just kick it. Whether that goes out of bounds, wherever it goes, it doesn't even matter. They just kick the ball. I'll tell you why that happens. Because they're not getting chances to play and experience 1v1 situations. Either that, or you have a coach that's always screaming, boot it, kick it, send it, clear it, smash it, whatever. Right? Now, the bigger thing is kids are not being put into situations to deal with it. When there's no solution other than, hey, I'm 1v1, I have to beat this guy. And the game is 1v1. We should be teaching more players to thrive in a 1v1 environment. Or at least learn how to get out of it. But too many kids are just booting, clearing, sending, smacking, whatever word you want to use to describe it. That's the reality again. And it comes down to kids not being put into situations because they're playing 7v7 or 9v9. And there's hardly any, they don't get many chances to play 1v1. You tell me what you think. Am I right? Did I hit a home run on this rant? I mean, I know I did. But did I hit a home run on this rant? Or do you think I'm crazy? Let me know. As always, I'll be discussing this going live, and we can talk about it. So stay tuned for that.